Morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing okay today. Don't know how long this will be. As I said in the past, more ramblings of a short, fat, bald guy. Nothing scripted. I just get on here and talk. This morning, and I've been hearing it for weeks, I've been hearing the comment, cancel culture. I really don't understand what cancel culture is. So I posted that question on my Facebook page about cancel culture and what it is. Said I'm not looking for a political debate. I'm just showing my ignorance. I don't understand it. Needless to say, I got a wide variety of answers as to what cancel culture is. I got the Wikipedia definition of cancel culture, which is basically ostracism of things that people say that is thrust out of social professional circles. You're thrust out. So if a sports star says something that is inappropriate, or an actor, they're thrust out of those circles. If a pop singer makes an inappropriate comment or a country singer makes an inappropriate comment, they lose their contracts, they lose endorsements, things like that. I also got the responses of a group of people looking to erase history that offends them, or they simply disagree with it. Example, renaming of schools, eliminating statues, erected honoring past presidents, so on and so forth. Okay, we're going to cancel, that. I also got comments about getting rid of things that were offensive, such as Mr. Potato Head. I think it's a completely different story. I don't know that it's a cancel culture as much as it's a gender issue, but it was one of those things that I got. Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, things like that, the companies that had those felt that they were no longer appropriate to use. The Cleveland Indians, there's another example that I got. I'll be honest with you, I have never, ever found the Cleveland Indians to be offensive. Could I go a little further and say maybe Chief Wahoo and his design could be construed as offensive? Could be. I don't know that it was ever meant to be offensive, but they got rid of Chief Wahoo. Now they're talking getting rid of the Indians. To me, they'll always be the tribe, not offensive in any way. That's what I grew up with. So getting a lot of disparity with my post, I went a little further and made a statement on my page that, Germany doesn't have any statues of Hitler or Nazism. They don't have any monuments honoring the valor of the Nazi soldiers, and it's actually illegal in Germany to have imagery like Nazism imagery, so to speak. I got responses on that also. It's like, are they guilty of culture canceling? Some people said they were. Some people said they weren't. I got that that's because they lost and they don't get to write the history books, which may be true. As we know, the victors typically do write the history. So long and short of it, nobody knows what cancel culture is. It's all what you perceive as a person. Some people said that it's because they want to get rid of the statues, from the South. I'm going to sit here and tell you, I don't necessarily always agree with that. But if you look at it from a standpoint of World War II and getting rid of Hitler, should there be statues erected of Hitler? I hardly think not. I don't think that we should be going there. I also posted a link to an article on the one post about a small town in Italy, because they had a statue of Mussolini and a large wall sculpture of Mussolini, who, as we all know, is a fascist. and there was a drive to get rid of it. What they did, as opposed to getting rid of it, was electronically superimpose a message, basically that said, "Learn from your past." Maybe that's what we need to do. We learn from our past. We don't. I don't think people are necessarily guilty of culture cancel. Governments are not guilty of culture canceling because they choose not to portray something dark that occurred in their past. The Holocaust, by all means, was one of the worst things to ever have happened worldwide, if not the worst thing to happen worldwide. Our American Civil War, pitting Americans against Americans, was a very dark time in our past. We still teach about it. Yes, we do have monuments denoting the heroes from the South, heroes from the North. They're all out there. But we do teach about it. In Germany, they still teach about World War II and what occurred. Ultimately, I think when it comes right down to it, it is a moral issue. We need to look at it morally and go from there. A friend of mine, and I'm not making any names, I'm not saying any names, said, "A culture that knows the difference between right and wrong isn't as confused as we are in this country. In Germany, they know that fascists are bad. They know that Nazis are bad. They know that white supremacists are bad. In America, ellipsis, so we don't really know." The other is nothing to honor this, but do not forget what happened and to not let it happen again. That in itself is honestly, it makes sense. The same friend that made the comment about Nazi Germany and that they know it's bad put, "Cancel culture is also the distorted whitewashing of the inconvenient truths of our history. It works both ways, and the lesson should be that we not get sucked into a biased worldview from either side of the political spectrum. We need a country of independent thinkers." That, to me, is spot on. We all need to think independently. We need to think morally. What's right? What isn't? The Holocaust was wrong. Let's be honest. The Holocaust was wrong. Civil War. The people that fought the Civil War on both sides felt they were fighting for the right side. Slaves were wrong. Period. It was wrong. And, I don't know any other way to put that. The Civil War came about because of slavery. And, it was wrong. However, the United States is not alone in the slave issue. Slaves have been a part of our history since biblical times. So, we can't ignore it, that it happened. It did. It was a terrible part in our time. But as we progressed as a country, we came to realize this isn't appropriate. People should not be treated differently because of the color of their skin. And that was the right way to go. Again, I am not trying to start a political debate. I'm just trying to tell you where I feel in this. I think as a country and as an American, we need to take the moral high ground, if at all possible. It's the right thing to do. Do we need to be the policemen of the world? No, I don't think we do. But we also can't stand idly by while atrocities are being committed, whether it's back to World War I, World War II.
20-minute timer on
Alexa, stop.
Is ringing. 20-minute timer stopped on living room.
Alexa, cancel. Sorry about that. Anyway, we can't just sit idly by while things happen to innocent people around the world. So what is the answer? I think we need to learn to work together with everyone in the world. Again, it comes back to, and I know you guys are probably all tired of hearing this from me, I don't care what race you are. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what your sexual preference is. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. And I think that's where the world needs to go. I know, I live in a fantasy world. I think that the world would be a better place if more people thought like that. Is it going to happen? Maybe someday. I fear that we've got darker days ahead of us before that happens. I hope that I'm wrong. But, it's hard to say what is actually going to happen. I'm just asking you to think about what you say, what you post. I've come to the realization that, everything that I post on Facebook doesn't have to be political. Everything doesn't have to be popular. I also have come to the realization that, if something starts to go off the rails, had either one of those posts this morning gone off the rails, I'd have just deleted them. Everybody just needs to learn to be nice. And again, we haven't. If anything, social media makes it worse. And that's where I feel sad about this whole thing. So anyway, that's all I got. Something to think about. So no more ramblings from a short, fat, bald guy today. There may be ramblings of a short, fat, bald guy tomorrow. It all depends on what happens in my life. Everybody take care. Have a good one.